Jerry Lane Enterprises and Courtesy Motors present Paradise, Louisiana. With Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Demco. First South Farm Credit. Area Wholesale Tire Company with tire programs for tire dealers. And by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. Here we are again at TJ Ribs on Acadian, right off the interstate, and a special guest today, Mr. Dudley Vandenborre.
Yeah, I'm taking Don's place today. Hope I can do half as good as Don does, and we'll see how it goes.
You know, nobody gonna ever take your place coming in that boat. But Don had a little surgery on his back, and a little too much discomfort today to come and do it. And you were supposed to ride with you. He decided to take some rest, and well-deserved rest too. Dudley, you know, I forgot to say my name, by the way. I'm Gary Risponi, but Dudley here has probably been on more shows than Michael Jordan been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I've seen you on every show. First time I ever saw you on the show, it was Mike Reveille, Best of Soul, with Cajun Quest, and y'all used to catch some monster trout on the old Dudley. Yeah, one that looked like an eel. In fact, I got some. I'll show you later on. You also was the inventor and the seller for Deadly Dudley. Correct. Now you got a whole line of baits, and I guess everybody,
sort of like a tuxedo, it's got a little black top, a little bit of red glitter.
Pontchartrain or the Wrigley's, anywhere, fish your bait. Yeah. All over the country.
Any place that's pretty much salt water, we fish. Even down the East Coast, we've been selling bait, so it's a good run.
Most I showed this when we got another hunt we did with Heroes Hunts, and thanks to Gary Krause, who stayed there, and after I black clouded him the first day, he stayed there and then got finally got some footage of ducks dying, and he got to sneak in the field, and he's not a great big hunter or a long-time hunter, but how he got in that field and filmed those geese is still amazing to me, because I've been hunting down there 30 years, and when I see the geese in the field, you can roll your window down, you can see them 10 yards away, but if you cut that engine off, you're in trouble. So we got the Abu Berkeley fishing report, we got a hunting report, we got a lot of news coming up, and most of all, we got Dudley here for a couple segments to find out how he fishes the Wrigley, Lake Pontchartrain, the Causeway, you name it, we got Dudley here this week, so stay tuned. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, here at TJ Ribs. Miss Anna Martinez from Evans, Louisiana. You know, I heard all these places, but your dad says you're about 15 miles south of Toledo Bend, one of the most famous lakes in the state of Louisiana and Texas. Toledo Bend. There's been so many superstar fishermen like Mr. Dudley here that fished Toledo Bend. Have you ever fished Toledo Bend?
Used to go every Easter down there.
Well, she's sitting here in the audience, and I've been asking a lot of questions like I do. I found out she's a basketball star. She's in the 9th grade, and she's a pretty girl. You know this bait right here, he got a little surprise for you. You know, you can catch bass on these, too, because I do it all the time.
I'm going to give this to you, but this is named after him because he's famous and don't want to admit it. That's called the Black Cloud.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And remember us when you go back down to Evans. And I'm going to send a paper clip. You said when you start playing basketball, y'all started your games already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many points you average?
Between like 20 and 30.
Oh, my goodness. You're a superstar.
Yeah.
You come in here, you watch LSU play?
Yes, sir.
All right. The coach is looking at you already? You need to come here for her coach's show, because we needed some help tonight. Good deal. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Stay tuned. We're coming back with Dudley here real quick. Oh.
We are your friends.
We are your neighbors.
We are your brothers.
Your sisters.
Your sons.
We
are your family.
Because whether it's our team or our loyal customers, the Courtesy family extends far beyond our dealerships. And it's our continued commitment to putting people first that has made us the #1 selling domestic auto dealer in Acadiana. Who are we?
We
We are Courtesy.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and Mr. Dudley here. I don't know, it's been about 12 years ago, first time we ever did a show with you with Don. Probably a little over 12, but first year I was doing the show. And I know you've done national shows, and everybody recognized your beard and this. You know, one thing I know about you that I'm proud of is that you're half Italian. You know, I met your daddy, the former jockey. I never enjoyed fishing with somebody as much as your dad way back then, but to find out your mom was an Arrigo or Arago, you know, that really meant a lot to me.
That's the good half of me, Italian.
The good half for you. Ooh, you let your mama hear that, but you won't let your daddy hear that.
You're right. I better stay away from that.
You better stay away from that. Look, Dudley, everybody that fishes Pontchartrain, it's been an up and down year. Let's go back this year right now. Everything was late. What is the reason you think everything was late?
Well, we had a lot of fresh water, and the shrimp never did show up this year. You know, the brown shrimp was almost nothing out that way. So, and I think that had a whole lot to do with it. But we did have a late run of fish. There have been a lot of small fish in the lake, a lot of small fish by the wall. So hopefully next year will be a whole lot better. You know, once those fish get bigger, they'll migrate to the lake, and then, you know, we'll have a whole lot better year this year coming.
But, you know, and you plan your trips, you got clients, you sit in, I've heard you call people and say, look, it's too rough, tide ain't running, we'll make it up, I'll give you another date, you know, and the people said another date. You're starting out your year, we're starting a new year now. When you're starting a new year, where do you decide where you're going to fish? What's the first line or priority that you're looking for?
Pretty much once we get into January, I'm going to fish the trestles. I'm going to fish the trestles, Highway 11 Bridge, a little bit on the twin span. I'm going to stay in that area, you know, almost to June. I'll try to go as far as I can. Then I'll switch over to the regularlies after that. You know, I'll go June, July, August, I'll stay in the regularlies. And in September and October, I switch over and I'll come back into the trestles. You know, sometime end of September, October, you know, middle of October, I'll be back by the bridges again. And it's pretty standard. That's how I fish the lake.
What's the average you fish a week?
Well, during the summertime, it's almost every day, because even if I don't have a charter, I'm gonna head on out fishing. You know, I always like to, you know, try a spot I might have not have fished before. Tide might be a little different that day, or I know I have a charter the next day, so I want to make sure there's fish. I probably spend about 200 days on the water for the year, but, you know, a lot of it's for pleasure, too, or taking friends or relatives out.
Okay, we're coming in January, February. You know, you told me where you fished. What's going to make you cancel a trip? You can look at it and say, and I know you don't cancel many. You go find a backup, you find a canal in, well, you and Don, y'all schedule. Every 6 weeks, y'all got a trip, and when you go down there, y'all do a story on your garfish. Y'all gonna do something, and you seem to always, when Don goes, catch fish.
Well, you know, when it gets in the wintertime, and you got to go out with Don, so you have to go out and look for fish, and it helps me some too, because you know, if we find them during that, then I'll call up some of my better customers, and you know, there's always people ready to go fishing. But most of the time, you know, this time of year, it's all a west wind. You know, if the wind blows out the west hard, it's hard to find fish. Muddies up the water a little bit. You know, if you have a mild winter, you know, they'll bite all winter, but west winds are the one downfall of the lake and you know, the east end of Lake Pontchartrain.
Last month is probably one of the best months y'all had in years around the bridges. I've seen Sam Barber and all them people I know that fishing. They've been going crazy. They've been catching fish, and you've been catching a lot of fish. What brought that on?
Well, we had a pretty good fall. They had a few white shrimp leaving the lake. The fish left the lake. The redfish came to the top of the water. It's always fun chasing, you know, underneath the birds, the redfish. So, you know, we had a lot of fish around. Even with Sam, one day he had 6 casts in a row. He caught a fish, and then I saw the birds out there, and we went out and caught redfish, and he's still probably crying about that.
Yeah.
He said he just set a record.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story, and I don't know if I can go back and find the tape, but after Hurricane Katrina, okay, everybody was crying about it. The water was septic and everything. They had probably had nuclear stuff in the water. Everybody was saying that, and you were flooded. You weren't living in there. Hill Wagner was down there. Your partner was all there. Yeah, but everybody was devastated. Nobody was fishing. And you called Don and said, Don, if we can find a boat, we seeing a lot of fish. I think it's redfish in the middle of the lake. Now, I remember this story for a long time. Don called me. He says, they don't have any baits. Well, just that July, you had gave me bags and bags of bait. And then Don called me and said, bring some rods and reels. You want to go and video it? I said, yeah. So I brought my camera, 4 of us in a boat. And the first stop, in about 2 hours, we had 75 trout. It wasn't redfish, it was trout, and they were all beautiful, and they were all caught on your Dudley bait, but I never got them baits back. So I see you brought me a gift box out of that. How many years that, Steve?
That's been a while.
That's 10 years, 2005. Almost 10 years.
That's right.
But 9 years. But I'm going to tell you what, that was a fun trip. I seen tears in everybody's eyes because they really didn't know what the trout was going to be, and that was only 6 weeks after.
Right.
You remember that.
What had happened was the national news media, you know, it's all gloom and doom with them. You know, they all had predicted that the fish, you know, were going to be bad. But what they don't realize, those fish aren't going to stay in bad water. If it's low oxygen, a lot of oil or chemicals in the water, they're going to move to where the good water was. And it happened when the storm came. It brought in a lot of good salty water from the Gulf. And so it was nonstop with the fish. And I remember I never had any baits. They all got destroyed, you know, through the storm. You brought the baits, and it was nonstop. That was fun.
And it was fun. And fun, even though I got the video, and then when I put the camera down, we went looking elsewhere and found fish. Yeah, we're going to go out with some of the fishing. With Don fishing with Dudley all last year, some of the sights and scenes fishing with Dudley and Don Dubuque.
Now the baits we caught, all of our fish, redfish, flounder, even sheephead, artificial deadly Dudley. This is the opening night anchovy, slam and Sammy anchovy, and the fool's gold terratail.
You got to get it to the bottom. Here is always 3/8 ounce, just barely moving, work it a little bit, and anything you feel, set the hook. Because most of the time it's a fish. There are some snags out in here. But you know, like right now, it's actually moving pretty fast. Normally this time of year, you just let the tide roll it out, and it would hit it. Heavy that fish. Hit
him. Thump.
You can hear him when he hits the down.
Let me see. I got it. Ooh. Now there's a trout for you there. But that's not all Lake Pontchartrain's got for you this 4th of July weekend either. We'll show you what we're talking about.
Lake Pontchartrain bridges will always end. Once you get into like the middle to the end of June, they pretty much over with. And then the fish move into the deeper water in the passes here. On a falling tide, you generally work the railroad bridge, and then on a rising tide, you work the car bridge. You know, and you can see as soon as the tides slow down enough, they bit. And then we caught creature fish all day. For kids, it's probably the most incredible spot there is right now because you got fish on all the time. You know, I'll go out fishing. We'll have some 4 or 5 pound trout, and when we get back to the dock, my wife will ask them about what's the best fish. She said, oh, them drums, you know. And then when they go with you next time and you're catching trout, they say, when are we going to go catch some drums?
Now it's my turn.
Y'all want to put that double on?
This takes a real professional. All right.
Catch them anywhere, huh?
All right.
Don't make a difference.
Oh, that looks like that hurt.
You know, a lot of people just specialize in 1 or 2 fish, and they'll come out and fish for sheephead, they'll fish for drum, they'll fish for redfish, they'll fish for trout. Probably most people fish for trout. You know, one of the things about live bait, when you're fishing with live bait, you're capable of catching them all, so you're in that area. And this area's got some incredible fish. You saw today, we had some 5 pound trout, we've caught drums, we've caught flounders, we've had sheephead. We had a sheephead probably big enough to win a star, so you know, I would advise somebody getting a good spot, trestles, regolese, carb bridge regolese, CSX bridge regolese. You know, sit around there, wait, catch the tide change, and you got a good chance of catching a good fish.
Dudley is deadly. He is a legend. I'm so excited. I just want one of his hats. He is so much. He's the Dr. Doolittle of fish. He speaks to him. I don't know how he knows that if we come here underneath the 57th trestle or whatever it is, we're going to catch these huge creature fish, but we do.
Yeah, you got it.
Do I have the ground?
Come on, Karen. Don't you lose my fish. Karen, that's ridiculous.
I'm not left-handed. I mean, I'm right left-handed. Oh my God.
It's a gateway to Lake Pontchartrain. Everything comes through the lake has to come through the chef or the regolese. And, you know, at some point in time, everything that's in the lake either got to come in and out of here. So you meet it. And, you know, you'll find one day you'll go out and you might catch nothing but reds. I might come in here tomorrow and catch nothing but trout. So, you know, it keeps you guessing all the time, you know, what's coming through. And then at some point in time, you're going to start catching, you know, a lot of both. Like right now, we have a lot of really big fish in here, but not a lot of the small fish. So, you know, if you come out and catch 18 or 20 fish, trout, you'll have, you know, they 2 for 1. We call them twofers, you know, because they're that size. When the tide runs, so you need bigger sinkers, you know, instead of using 3/8 or a ½ ounce, you got to go to 3/4, even to ounce and a half. And what happens is the fish will position himself in a certain spot, so you got to know where the little drop-offs are and the little ledges. But, you know, they're in here. You know, the water's cooler down there. The bait's got to come through here to them. And, you know, that's why they're in here. And it's just going to get better as it gets cooler. We need one little cool front comes through, and they'll be all over.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Right now.
All right, there's a nice Pearl River speck.
Well, when that saltwater wedge runs right up, you know, it totally changes in here. But you'll catch a bass on the cast, a redfish on the next cast, and a trout on the following cast. I like to fish right where the drop-off rolls down. Anchor your boat in a way so when you throw your line behind the boat, you're right on that drop-off. And then throw it a little bit on an angle and just let it roll down it.
Shrinking on us, but I think he still might make it.
You know, the water's still warm. It'll be probably, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe another front, then it'll get better. We can throw Dudleys later on, and, you know, it gets a little cooler, they'll be hitting the Dudleys. Once a lot of the bait gets out of the water, too, they'll go to plastics. I think I got a flounder.
Oh, redfish.
Yeah, I got some.
You shoot? Okay. What you got?
Here we go.
It's going to be a little sheephead, I think. No, it's speckled trout. Oh, there are some speckled trout in Lake Pontchartrain, after all.
You know, there's still a chance. It's been such a mild winter so far, so you have a good chance of some, still stuff showing up. The good part about the flounders are in there, and they do have the other fish. As these blows come through, the flounders will start grouping up thicker and thicker, and when they do, we'll be able to get good trips on flounders. And I'm assuming we're going to get some trout no matter what. I think we're going to have a great flounder season. I think there's going to be a lot of flounders coming in. Whether the trout come in or not, they should have been here already. And they always call them World Series trout, but it's a water temperature issue. When the water temperature drops, that's when they would start showing up there. But there hadn't been a movement of shrimp or pogies or nothing that's left the lake yet. So that's why I think we're still going to get a run of fish.
All right, we've been waiting a long time. For some reason, those World Series trout didn't like the World Series. They're here for NFL playoff time, though, in Pontchartrain.
They usually come in around the World Series, and then all of a sudden they show up a month later. I guess they like football, maybe the playoffs this year. I think it was partially to do with weather conditions through the whole year. It was a late spring, and I think it had a lot to do with it. And, the pogies are real small right now. And, they should be 4 inches and they're 2 inches right now. And I think it has to do with the cold spring.
It's that time of year to get your gear. Visit ParadiseLouisiana.com and click Shop to get your official merchandise online. Whether hunting, fishing, or just enjoying all Louisiana has to offer. Get geared up at ParadiseLouisiana.com.
Hi, I'm John Jackson, and we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
You can count on Jerry Lane.
At Jerry Lane, they rolled the red carpet out for me.
It's always been Jerry.
You know what? It's tradition, it's family, and that's what keeps us coming back to Jerry Lane.
Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane, get the lane.
We're a Jerry Lane family.
All lanes lead to. You can count on Jerry Lane.
Introducing Powerade Ion 4, complete with 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4, the complete sports drink.
Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood. Because we're based in Louisiana, with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Welcome back to a special show with Dudley, taking the place of Don Dubuque, who's recuperating. Dudley, there's so many questions I want to answer, but in an hour show, I still can't go too far. We want to talk about bait selection. Let's talk about baits, and you're a bait manufacturer. Now, when you're going out to fish an area, what water quality that you look for, and what color are your bait that you're going to use to fish that water quality?
Well, usually if the water's what I call a little off color, where you can see like 2 feet down, I want to use a dark color. I want to use a color like, Mojo Mullet or the Black Cloud, something relatively dark. And if the water's clear, I can see 3-4 feet in it. I want to use a clear color, shrimp cocktail or opening night. And those, you know, you can live with 3 or 4 different colors. A lot of people have 50 different colors, and I make 50 different colors, but, you know, I can live with 3 or 4 different colors, and you get the whole spectrum, whether it's clean or
when
dirty.
it first came out, Blue Moon was one of the
Blue
hottest
Moon,
things.
that's right. And I use a lot of Blue Moon.
That's in between, because it got short tooth tail.
That's right.
I remember you had a lot of bass without short tooth tail. You started dipping, and then
we
you
started
started making.
Right. We switched over to the, and I almost exclusively use the chartreuse tail now.
Now, you had LSU colors.
Purple and
you and Mr.
green.
Sexton sort of, you know, gave me a lesson that time in helicopter bass.
Helicopter
remember when
bass,
it was invented?
I do. Yeah.
You remember how that smart aleck did?
He did.
Yeah, helicopter bass.
Yeah.
You know, I made a mistake over there when we were using that LSU color. It was in the spring, and not many people were fishing vintage.
That's right.
Ed Sexton knew where that water was coming through them claims and clearing up.
It was clear.
And we had a camera guy named Aaron, and we was there fishing, and I caught, about the first 8 fish, I caught 6 or 7, and I started bragging.
That's right. That's always a mistake to brag. You do know that.
God punished me and saved me. I think I caught 3 more. Y'all feel about it.
I think you got to 10 that day.
When you're fishing in Pontchartrain, especially other places around there, what about jig selection? What about weight of the jig?
Well, it's one of the few places you got to go to a heavier jig head. 3/8, which is this color here, or a half. If the tide's moving really, really hard, I'll switch to a half. And a lot of times you can be at mid-lake and the tide won't be moving quite as hard. And then you go to the south shore and it'll be moving a whole lot harder because the water rips around South Point. So you may want to switch to a half. But, you know, I just like lead. I just, you know, plain lead. And I'll get a customer all the time will come and they'll have a jig head already on their line. Usually after a little while, what they'll do is, you know, I'll say, well, look, switch to the lead jig head. And a lot of time they sit on my dashboard. Most of the time when they leave, I'll give them the color jig head back.
Red, white, short, here's that jig head here. Now, I was going to ask you, what about color of jig head?
I don't believe in color at all.
If you found that in your book, what you do?
I give it back to my customer. I'll give it back to him.
Okay,
I'll throw it in the garbage can when we get back home. I like, you know, lead. Most of your really good fishermen all fish with just lead. You know,
this color here has been really hot right now. I know in Bayou Bienvenue people that fish different other baits, and the matrix shad and everything, they're using lemon drop. Just when they got the looks and got the colors, that thing has been catching bass in the marsh, in the lodge, and in the lake. I noticed you've been fishing a lot.
I've been fishing a lot with that, and I've been fishing a lot with the Mojo Mullet. You know, those are my favorite colors.
One more question before we let you get rid of it. And by the way, he's the guest host, so he's going to be here for all the other segments too. What is, where are you going to decide to fish? There's so many places that you can go fish. What makes you decide to either fish the marsh, Pearl River, in the canals by there, the trestles, or the causeway?
Some of it's the wind. You know, if the wind's blowing a north wind, there's only a few places you can fish. If it switches to west, you have to go back into the marsh. You have to go back into the regolith and fish. Water quality, water color of the water. You know, I've always believed that, you know, the water quality has a whole lot to do where the bait's at. And then a lot of it is trial and error. If the day before I caught them at a certain spot, I'm going to go there the next day. But more than anything else, it's the wind. The wind and the tide is going to make the difference.
Yeah, that's why we come to TJ Ribs, a big crowd. And happy birthday. I'm going to go with it, too. We're going to be right back. All right, so the wind blowing hard from the south or the wind not blowing, you got the tide is moving into the south. Say you between the twin spans. What's it going to decide? What side of the twin spans you're going to be fishing?
Well, if the wind's from the south, I'm going to go on the south shore and fish. It's going to be less wind there. It's going to be an offshore wind there. And I'm probably going to fish right in the corner of the trestles or the twin span or the Highway 11 bridge. If it's coming out the north and it's coming out the north hard, you're not going to be able to fish that area. So I'm going to fish the north side of the lake or go out as far as I can in the lake until it gets too rough or the water gets dirty.
What's the worst conditions you can think of when you call people and say, don't come, I'll call you when things get better?
When you get a hard west wind. When the wind blows 20 miles an hour out the west, you know, 45 degrees when you start out in the morning, that's the kind of days you just want to stay at home. You know, just do it another day. But south and north are generally really good winds. But west wind is the one. East wind, you can fish pretty good, too.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in more of Paradise, Louisiana. I'm going to go try to steal some birthday cake. Stay tuned.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy cooperative.
My name is Blake Miguez from History Channel's Top Shot, and you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
It's time to get covered, Louisiana. And Blue Cross has a plan in every parish, every zip code.
We're covered. We're covered.
Call your Blue Cross agent or go to bcbsla.com and get covered too.
I can't believe y'all brought me out in the blind and we ain't got no food. Man, I'm hungry.
Don't worry, Gary. This will be over quick.
Thanks to our sponsor, Raising Cane's and Todd Grays, a real Louisiana sportsman and conservationist, with true aim and sure shot, giving back to Louisiana.
Good job, girl. That's a better retrieve than any duck. Cane's, the official chicken of Louisiana outdoors. Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and with my co-host, Mr. Dudley Vandenborre. My mezzo and Italian, half and half. Dudley, you know, I know there's so many organizations that you contribute to. You know, Wounded Warrior Heroes, you know, the good ones, one of the great organizations, and Hunters for the Hungry. And all those things that we're doing. But right now we got hero hunts that have been taking most of our time. And there's a lot of organizations out there that were doing great things to get the veterans out of their house, back in the outdoors, and everyone we talk to just love it. So it looks like every other week we've been doing what I told them a long time ago, we've been doing it for the heroes hunts. But there was one reason behind it, because it's just as much fun to see these guys enjoying themselves, knowing what they done sacrificed. It's just do it. Now, I know you've taken many of veterans in your boat fishing.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, it's a great thing to get out that way and have people come out who are handicapped and fish and hunt with you, and just the enjoyment they see and what you're doing out that way is worth it, you know, on them. I mean, you get tickled to death.
I know a lot of people pat you on the back, say, that's a good guy, but if you've been a rascal like I've been, and you get that feeling, some things you keep going back doing. So here we go again. We're back, Heroes Hunt right now, and by the way, a little different place. We're in Pecan Island. We're starting out with ducks. Probably going to end up with Gary Krause seeing some monster flock of geese.
Kobe Richard, Capital, Louisiana.
Josh Drawdy, DeRidder, Louisiana.
Eric Broussard, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
I'm Danny Richard with Pecan Island West.
I'm Lindsay Richard, and I'm from Rain, and I'm his daughter.
This is my way of giving back to the vets for appreciating all what they did for us.
Mike Dugas, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Troy O'Rourke, U.S. Army.
Rick Martin, Stonewall, Louisiana. I'm Jeremy Lout from Bossier City, Louisiana.
I'm Richie Ducey with Pecan Island West Hunt Club, and we'd like to welcome you this morning. We're going to be hunting some ducks with Hero Hunts, and let's go get them.
You watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Whoa, what a shot.
Shane Poche, Sergeant First Class, Louisiana Army National Guard.
Melvin Poche with National Guard, 1979.
Brian Crouch, United States Air Force, 1988 to 1996.
My name is Chip Perrin. I was in the United States Marine Corps, HMLA 773. Did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Got involved with hero hunts. I'm working with those guys real close. Appreciate everything they do.
Hero hunts is a lifesaver. This saved my life and his life. He's my gunner from Iraq. We was deployed in 0405. We did regular route clearance missions. We were blown up several times by IEDs. Once we came back, we was diagnosed with PTSD and brain injury. In the last 3 years, we became really big in this organization and helping them out.
Lets us get with other veterans, build camaraderie, and keeps us occupied. And we don't know what we would do without it.
I served in the United States Marine Corps from 88 to 92. Was deployed to Desert Storm, or Desert Shield, and in Desert Storm. I was part of 3rd Tank Battalion, and I was a tank crewman. Not a day goes by that I don't, reflect on that and my time in the Marine Corps and how it's made me a better husband and father, and but still keep in touch with a lot of the fellas, that was over there with me.
To the right. Oh, let him land?
Oh yeah, let him come in.
Over on the left.
Watch that big flock right behind us, boys. Y'all take it.
Yeah, 20 minutes and I'm already in my 2nd box of Spectre shots.
It's crazy out here. Got with a rice farmer and I asked him if he had problems with birds, and he told me yeah, and he was nice enough to let us come set up a blind. And it's just blackjacks and bluebill scaup. A lot of them that destroy the crawfish ponds. A lot of diving ducks right here, and they love the combination.
Some more coming over.
Nothing coming down. It's crazy this morning. We've gone through so many shells so far, killed so many birds, and I'd like to thank Adler Stelly and his wife Natasha for providing us with this hunt. Without people like that, we couldn't get it done. It's an honor.
Might need another box of Spectre shots.
Got him!
That wind's blowing though. Appreciate the opportunity with Hero Hunts to get us out here and hunt and actually be able to spend some time with my dad.
I appreciated coming over here and I enjoyed the hunt.
Here at Hero Hunts, they gave me the opportunity to come out here and do some duck hunting, and I've really enjoyed it.
I just want to say thank you to Hero Hunts because it feels good as a veteran to be appreciated for our service and for these guys to bring us out here and show us the appreciation that they did today. Troy and Kevin deserve a big hand for that.
We wouldn't have this opportunity anywhere else to come out duck hunting. We don't have this property. I mean, I've never done this before. We don't have the knowledge or the experience or anything to go out and just go duck hunting. They give us the experience. They teach us how to do it right. They give us the go out with experienced duck callers. Otherwise, we'd be two guys sitting out on a levee with shotguns, not knowing what we're doing.
Is that flapping gloves?
At least we know here how to do it the right way.
Encourage other hunters, other farmers to invite our hunters with Hero Hunts to let us come out on their property. Adler, it was an honor you letting us come out here.
I enjoyed having y'all. I'm glad y'all had fun, and I also encourage other farmers, if y'all have the opportunity, to take these guys out and bring them on some hunts.
Danny Richard. I manage this property we own, the Pecan Island West Hunting Club. It is owned by the Millers. It is the old Dr. M.O. Miller estate.
Dr. Miller was Huey P. Long's personal physician. Dr. Miller acquired the land, public auction, state auction, and went to surveying it, pumping it off and getting it dried up, put cows on it, and proved that it could be managed and be useful.
After Dr. Miller passed away, we realized not only can we graze and raise cattle on the place, but we can bring the property back to its natural habitat. Do our duck leases. We hunt alligators, collect alligator eggs, trapping, fishing. And
due to proper management techniques in managing the marsh, we have an abundance of crabs and shrimp, garfish. The redfish populations is good and strong. Our migratory game birds are better because of it. And now we have a healthy wildlife in the marsh. I got a website, piwesthunting.com. We offer alligator, guided alligator hunts and duck hunts. We got a Facebook page, Pecan Island West Hunt Club, and or you can just call and phone us, 337-581-9055.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
So you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
This morning, this is what happens whenever you leave early.
The cloud leaves you.
Whenever the black cloud leaves you, Pecan Island produces.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
We are your friends.
We are your neighbors.
We are your brothers.
Your sisters.
Your sons.
We
are your family.
Because whether it's our team or our loyal customers, the Courtesy family extends far beyond our dealerships. And it's our continued commitment to putting people first that has made us the #1 selling domestic auto dealer in Acadiana. Who are we?
We
are Courtesy.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana with our hunting report. Look, Dudley, now I know you come from down around New Orleans. Everybody duck hunts back there. You duck hunt? You come up duck hunt?
You know, I used to duck hunt and deer hunt a lot. But every time I was out there, at some point during the day, I'd say, man, this would be a beautiful day to be fishing, no matter what the wind was or what. So I just fish now. But even though I love to eat duck, I love to eat deer, but I haven't the last few years, you know, did any duck hunting, did any deer hunting.
You're bringing back some of the things. A lot of times, like with Captain Steve Smith, when I'm over there, the wind is not blowing when we duck hunting. And when we fishing, the wind's blowing like crazy. So I think they got my duck hunting and my fishing mixed up. But we do have some great reports now. The only thing is a drawback right now, I'm giving this report and it's changed now. I talked to Blake Swallow up around from Callahoola in that area with full straps and stringers, and Blake told me they got 5.5, almost 6 inches of rain this past Saturday. The river and the lake are all rising. Callahoola Lake is up 2.5 feet already. Y'all hearing all that in the background. By the way, they're watching the Dallas Cowboys, so you know one of their favorite teams around this area. Another hunting report I get, I know where you from. What's the hunting report you get?
You know, there's a lot of ducks. I've been fishing back in the West Pearl around Hog Island. I've seen a lot of gray ducks back in there, but a good friend of mine, Larry Wagner, which to me is one of the great things the wildlife has done in the last few years, was open that Bayou Sauvage so long as you got a child under a certain age in a boat. And he's been going in consistently, you know, shooting their limit. And it's a great thing because you don't have to have a lease. Mostly gray ducks, but they do have teal, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really good back there for them. It's one of those few places you don't need a lease. You know, you can't build a blind, but you know, you can have a place back in that way to hunt. There's a lot of birds in there.
I don't know a place in the state really that has not had a pretty good year. Now, days hit or miss. And my brothers in Port Barry, the last few days have been limited out every day. They have a mix of gray ducks, teal, ringneck. There's a lot of ringneck in the state right now. Scaup, you know, you kill too, but there's a lot of them. I've seen more geese this year down between Arkansas and here. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing big flocks of geese I ain't seen in years. Now, to kill the snow geese is hard, but speckled belly season's over. You know I have no trouble killing your lemon or speckled bellies. Going back again, Kobe Daniels up in Mer Rouge, he's having a tremendous year also on speckled bellies and geese, especially ducks. And he's sending me some pictures that he killed in the breaks with the gray ducks at Gadwall. And I hope for the season over I can make one hunt with Kobe Daniels up there. Also, the Callahoola Lake, I was telling you before now, with this rise, I'm supposed to be going up there next week, so I hope I didn't black cloud them and did it, but he has some backup places, so we're sure it's going to be good. Again, I told you, Port Barry, all the way up Highway 73 has been doing real good. So that's all I got right now is duck hunting. Deer hunting, the rut is on in most of the places. I'm still getting some pictures coming in. And by the way, promise y'all, deer hunters, please remember to put that tag on them things, especially in Louisiana when you send it to me. So still waiting. Gary at ParadiseLouisiana.com.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
I'm Justin Show from Swamp People, and you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
You can count on Jerry Lane.
At Jerry Lane, they rolled the red carpet out for me.
It's always been Jerry.
You know what? It's tradition, it's family, and that's what keeps us coming back to Jerry Lane.
Get in the lane, get in the lane. Get in the lane, get in the lane. Get in the lane, get in the lane.
We're a Jerry Lane family.
Always lead to. You can count on Jerry Lane.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and I want to tell you right now, the Abu Garcia fishing report and the news. We're going to do them both. There's not a whole lot of news right now coming out, but I do have to mention our superstar dog that's coming from the city of Central again, the Circle of Champions. Beamer, that's Becky Lou's Bayou Beamer. That dog right now is the most decorated lab or retriever in North America. And here with this big magazine right now that's coming out. It's the breeder. Let me find the front of this thing and I'll show y'all. Here, I keep going. Top shooting dogs in the country. They got a whole article on Beamer right now and what happened, how he won in California, how he won his 9th Grand. So congratulations, Beamer. I'm sorry that first show we never showed you a picture, but we making up for it, baby. And by the way, I'm going to be making a hunt with Beamer later this week. And I was supposed to do a hunt with him. I don't make sure if that lake's too high. Him being 12 years old, I don't know if we're going to make him struggle way out there in the lake. So, but we might be doing one with Beamer this week. Also, the Rough Grouse Society, the Louisiana Woodcock Organization, got their banquet coming up in February. So y'all look at our schedule and don't forget, that's a great banquet we have coming on West Baton Rouge. Fishing report, I'm going to start with you. I don't know who else I can tell. Tell us what's going on in your part of the state.
You know, if the water clears up, you'll catch a few fish by the trestles, and there's a few flounders mixed in there with them. But, you know, with the wind and the way the weather's been acting, it's a little better to go to the wall by Bayou Avenue, work Lake Catherine shorelines. They have some reds in Lake Catherine. The West Pearl is all muddy right now with all the rain we've had the last, week, 2 weeks in it. But, they do have some reds in Lake Catherine and by the wall by Bayou Avenue. They got a lot of small trout, a few redfish mixed in there with them, but you should do good over that way.
Dudley, lot of times when these fronts, they bring a lot of north wind, cold weather, they'll be blowing it out, and the waters might drop. When that water drops, you know, coming out of a lot of north wind, when the water gets down and it's not flood stage, where would you fish?
You know, Gohagen's Canal and that big lagoon in the back will have fish because of the deep water. And then as it'll warm up during the day, you know, sometimes it's not 10, 11 o'clock before the fish even bite. But, you know, that's a good spot to start at. You know, if the rivers weren't mid high, the Pearl River would have fish in it. But with the river high like it is, you know, you're not doing good back in there.
But, boy, I tell you what, you hear Dallas is doing it, people got a lot of Dallas fans around. But look, Delacroix, by the way, is almost the same thing. But right now, it don't ball them that much. Right. You know, because I know the cold weather it is, they find a deep canal. And anyway, it's hard to find deep canals in Delacroix, but there are. The Lodge, it's the same thing. What I'm hearing, the same thing at the Lodge. If it's real cold weather, go there. The best place I've heard with cold weather right now is Highway 1 going down to Fouchon and in that area. When that north wind blows, they're fishing on the west side, going down and fish there because the other side is muddy. That wind muddies it up. It blows against Highway 1. On the other side, stays clear. That water runs through them pipes, and they still catching redfish, flounder, and speckled trout.
Well, you know, when it's cold like this, any time during the year, that's where you want to fish the deep holes. And, you know, as the day warms up, they'll come up to the shoulders of those holes and they'll start migrating out. If you're there at the right time, you'll have good days.
You know, I'm having a hard time people to tell me where they're catching fish. Chapelhouse Spillway is over again. It's rising quick. Old River was the same thing. They were starting to catch some sac-a-lait and crappie in that way is rising. In central Louisiana, I don't know how much rain they got. So I promise you when I come back next week, I'm going to have a little more extensive fishing report. With all the weather's being offshore, it's completely gone. So all I can tell you, Dudley, thank you so much for coming.
It. Thanks for
inviting
me.
Any last word you want to tell the people?
Yeah, I want to thank TJ Ribs. Is a great place to be. You know, Sunday, you know, just having a good time in here. And you can hear the crowd. They've been excited about the ball game.
It was a little loud enough. We started off, it was quiet, but the more Dallas kept making a comeback, they were doing it. So y'all want to come join us? We're right here at TJ Ribs on Acadian, right off the interstate, and food is excellent. People are nice, and we had a lot of people, and a lot of people fish your bait. You know, I got to be careful. You know, I got other bait sponsors. But,
well, it was fun here today. It's always fun being with you, too, Gary. I want to appreciate it.
Yeah, were you going to tell them about the first time I fished with you?
Well...
What did you remember most about the first time? What did I bring?
When Gary, he bought the hog-head cheese, put it on the seat, and we were eating hog-head cheese by 8:30 in the morning, so we had a good time out there.
We did a good deal. I did. The black cloud, you believe that?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You believe I'm a black cloud. You hear that coming from an expert.
It's always fun to fish. I want to shake your hand again.
One more time. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana. Come back with us next week. Come here at TJ Ribs and join us.
Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, First South Farm Credit, Area Wholesale Tire Company with tire programs for tire dealers, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.